Good evening. The Concord Township Board of Zoning Appeals for June 12, 2019 is now in session. I would like to introduce my board. To my left is Skip Sweeney. I'm Ivan Valentic. To my right is Jim Rowe and Blair Hamilton. And to my far right is Heather Freeman, our zoning inspector. Under the advice of counsel, we ask that anyone speaking tonight must be sworn in. If you plan on speaking, please stand at this time. Anyone that plans on speaking, please stand, and we're going to get you sworn in. Okay? All right, do you swear, and raise your right hand, and then do you swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help me God. If so, say I do. All right, great. Thank you. Please be seated. Today, when presenting your case or commenting, come to the microphone and state your name and address for the record and confirm that you've been sworn in. Heather, were the legal notices published in a timely manner?
Yes.
Great. Tonight we just have some old business, but we have one conditional use permit application. 3-vote majority is required to either approve or deny your application. Old business, we have appeal number 2018-41, Mr. Randy Viviani at 7757 Concord LLC has asked that is still on the table. So where that has been tabled, and we'll push that to the next meeting hopefully and resolve that. For new business, we have a conditional use permit 2019-13. Lake Geauga Recovery Centers, Inc. is requesting a conditional use permit to operate an adult group home in accordance with section 13.16 of the Concord Township zoning for the property located at 7301 Ravenna Road. Please come up and present your case.
Mr. Chairman, if I can, they should be given the option, since we only have a 4-member board, we don't have a full board seated, that it does take a 3-vote majority in order to pass this, and you may choose to have this heard at a later time before the whole board if you want, as opposed to just 4 members.
So it was my understanding that the 5th person recused themselves, so would there ever be a 5th person based on that? Or?
Yeah, there could be a 5th, right, Heather?
Yeah.
If the other alternate was available.
Yeah, one of our alternates wasn't available.
Who recused himself?
Which, as an aside, too, we did attempt to have the alternate.
Yeah, so
I know that Heather reached out to try and make sure we had 5 here. It just didn't work this time.
So we were aware of that, so we'll go ahead.
okay.
My name's Melanie Belasco, 6251 Sherrill Drive, Concord Township, and I have been sworn in.
Okay.
First, I just want to thank you for the opportunity to tell you a little bit about what we'd like to do and to tell you a little bit about Lake Geauga Recovery Centers. We are a private nonprofit corporation, and we've been providing continuous service to the community since 1971. We provide services to adults whose lives have been affected by their own or another's use of drugs or alcohol, problem gambling, or mental illness. Our mission statement is to promote lifelong recovery from addiction through education, prevention, and treatment, regardless of ability to pay. We currently have 3 outpatient offices, one in Paynesville, one in Menor, and one in Chardon. We operate the only long-term, non-medical residential treatment programs in Lake and Geauga counties. Oak House is our facility for women. Lake House is our facility for men. All of these, of course, are people who are suffering with substance use disorder. Those programs are unique in that parents, their children can accompany them to treatment, children ages 3 and under. There are no such programs, especially for men, between Oregon and Florida, where a father can take their toddler to treatment with them. So we're pretty proud of that. Also, we operate Nevaeh Ridge, which is a program for pregnant women with substance use disorder, and also will accommodate women who have 2 children. Our goal in that program is early identification. This disease of addiction is just like any other disease in that early identification, the prognosis is much better. And our goal was have more drug-free babies born. So we have celebrated the birth of our 18th drug-free baby, so I'm also pretty proud of that. So that's just a little background and just a very general overview of our services. We are proposing to open a new residential substance abuse treatment facility for adult men at 7301 Painesville, Ravenna Road in Concord. We have been providing residential treatment since 1971. And we have had waiting lists since that time, despite 90 to 95% occupancy. So the need for this level of care is very well documented. As far as our plan for the proposed use, the 7301 was previously used as a nursing home, and it's currently vacant. As far as compliance with aspects aspects in section 13.16 of the zoning resolution, I just wanted to run through those quickly, and why we would why a conditional use for an adult group home would be appropriate. So it is located on a lot that's at least 1 acre and in a B2 general business district. The signage will conform for provisions for a B2 general business district. Typically, signs for our facilities are very modest and unassuming, yet very professional and tasteful. I did include a copy of a sample of one of our signs for residential treatment. It's on the last page of your packet. The exterior appearance of a single-family home will be maintained, very much exactly how the house looks right now. Lake Jug Recovery Center's programs and services and locations are all licensed by the Ohio Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services, and we are nationally accredited through the Commission on Accreditation of Rehabilitation Facilities. Licensing by these entities ensures compliance to comprehensive state and federal standards, as well as commitment to excellence, and will ensure compliance to building code requirements, fire code requirements. All those things are rigorously checked when we have our review by the state and by the national accreditation. All of our locations, from outpatient to residential, the other level of care, which I did not mention, are recovery houses. These are for individuals after they complete primary treatment, perhaps going home maybe isn't the best place for them to support their recovery. So the recovery houses are for men or women. The way ours are designed, there are 5 adults and a house manager who lives on site with them. Those are also licensed by the state of Ohio. So all of our locations and services are licensed. Off-street parking. Off-street parking areas are provided in accordance with section 29 of the Concord Township zoning resolution. Traffic access and internal traffic circulation are appropriate based on projected number of staff and visitors. The vast majority of residents in this proposed facility will not have cars. This will be for 16 men, and the people that drive are the staff. So they don't come with cars. When they're there for treatment, they have a very structured day and they are there the whole time. The facilities are staffed 24/7. So we have 2 counselors that would primarily work days, and then we would have program assistants. We call them program assistants who monitor the residents, and so they're there, around the clock, weekends included. There are not many visitors, so as far as parking goes, you have to be there a certain length of time in order to have visitation by your family. Refuse area is enclosed and will be maintained, as will current landscaping. Safety inspection. Lake Jug Recovery Centers will have annual fire inspections completed by an outside authority such as Concord Township Fire Department, as well as obtain an occupancy permit prior to occupancy as required for licensure through Ohio Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services and the Commission on Accreditation of Rehabilitation Facilities, and in compliance with the zoning resolution. Copies of these can be provided or posted in the facility. These are all things that we're required to do in order to be licensed and to maintain our licensure. In addition, the proposed use is generally compatible with other properties in the B2 district, the Town Hall Commons, and the R1 surrounding areas. The adjacent properties would not be adversely affected, including any issues related to noise, glare, fumes, vibration, or odor. The economic impact would basically be job creation. So we estimate the creation of 5 full-time and 3 part-time positions. with an average annual payroll of $315,384, and that would include our current administrative staff, where a portion of that is allocated to this facility as well. And the proposed conditional use, being that it is quite similar to the property's previous use as a nursing home, is neutral in its relationship to the Concord Township Comprehensive Plan. One of the things that is always troubling to me, I am the president and CEO, but also personally, the waiting list. If you have a family member or a loved one, a mother, a father, or a spouse who has lived with this in their family for a long time, and then your loved one finally agrees, they're ready to accept help, they're ready to go to treatment, and you say, great, you've called the right place, I'm glad you called us, but now you have to wait. And I can't think of anything more heart-wrenching as a parent than to hear that on the other end of the phone. We always try to provide outpatient services for those people who are on the waiting list for residential treatment, and sometimes that works, and sometimes it works well. Other times, the reason they're being recommended for residential is because they need that level of care. They've most likely failed at a lower level. So our goal in expanding services is to increase access and hopefully, if not reduce, hopefully just eliminate a waiting list for services. Right now, I think the statistic is 11% of people who have a substance use disorder actually seek treatment. And there would be a riot if that was heart disease, and we were saying that was a statistic for heart disease. So we're looking to really have an impact on that. Does anybody have any questions?
I'll start. In regards to the fire code and building code, it was a nursing home. In your review or potential purchase of the building, are you anticipating much of an upgrade needed and required, for when the fire department comes in to inspect it? Do you know what you guys have coming forward with that?
Mm-hmm. The only thing that we will look to do is the garage, which is just kind of a garage right now. We'd like to convert into counselors' offices.
Okay, so that will require a lot of upgrades, but the rest of the facility?
Actually, there's heating, electric,
Oh,
plumbing
okay.
there, so it's not as much as you think.
Okay.
And there's a sprinkler system. That is in the facility itself. There are sprinklers.
Okay, there.
That's what I was gonna ask, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there are.
Okay, okay. The staff, just really quick, how many parking spaces do you think daily people will be parking there? Is it 3 to 5, or is it, a little bit more than that?
Well, typically there's 2 counselors, and sometimes like the supervisor will come in and visit. I would say no more than 5.
Okay.
We have other support staff. We have peer recovery supports. Again, they're kind of in and out, providing services, or a case manager. So they're not there all day, but they might be in and out. So I would say no more than 5.
Okay. All right. I don't have anything else. Thank you for going through that list and talking through each one of them.
Okay.
That makes our job a little bit easier. Skip, do you have any questions?
No questions?
Guys, anything?
I do not.
No.
Okay.
Wow, these guys don't have questions. All right. That's impressive. All right. Is there anyone else here that's speaking? That would like to
happens.
speak for or against?
I'm speaking for. My name is Carson. I'm the chairman of the board of Lake Jogger Recovery Centers. I've been on the board since 2011.
And
I've been the
sworn-
chairman since I retired.
And you've been sworn in, sir?
Huh?
You've been sworn in?
Yes.
Yes.
I stood and was sworn in when you came.
Okay. And then, can you state your name and your address for the record, too?
My name is Carson, and my address is 9185 Woodsway Drive, Kirtland, Ohio.
All
And I'm
right.
chairman of the board of Lake Jogger Recovery Centers.
Thank you, sir.
Make sure the record is complete. I guess I'm a little out of practice. I had 50 years of trial practice, so I stand up and start talking now without making the record complete. I simply wanted to add, if there are any questions, obviously, I would be willing to answer them. But having done zoning work for my clients when I was with Squire Sanders and Dempsey for 50 years, I thought I would address a couple of the questions that we often had. One is, are we financially sound? And we are. We can afford this property, and we can afford to take care of it and to maintain it, and do that in a quality way. We have enough properties now that we have a facilities manager
He doesn't have an unlimited budget, nobody does, but he has an adequate budget both to take care of the facilities, but also landscaping and things like that. We're proud to have our facilities look good because we want to be a good neighbor. We want people to say, we'd like to have you in the neighborhood. And we have our treasurer here with, if there's any question about our finances, he's a member of the board. But we are very sound financially. We can afford this property and we can afford it to maintain it, and we will do so. Our staff are very good. And I'm proud to be part of this organization. I started out an interest in this because I was on executive committee of the Ohio Chamber of Commerce. And we were looking at how do we handle the opiate crisis, how do we control costs, how do we make sure that babies aren't born addicted. Those were the kinds of questions that we were asking. So I stepped up and served on a number of the committees at the time that the chamber had. We were looking at it from the perspective of what's most cost effective. And I became a believer that this is a good system. And the only thing I would add is these facilities are well run, they are safe places. And I say that sincerely because I have a daughter who has just gone through treatment at Lake Jogger Recovery Centers. And I certainly wouldn't have sent her there if I didn't believe that it was the right thing to do. I have nothing else to add.
All right,
If
thank
you
you,
have any
sir.
questions of me?
Any questions from the board?
No, thank
No?
you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that'd like to come up to speak for or against this conditional use permit? Okay, if there's no further questions, the public hearing for application number, conditional use permit number 2019-13 is now closed to the public. I would like to entertain a motion to approve the conditional use permit 2019-13.
So moved.
Second?
All right. Thank you. The approval is moved and second. Discussion for the board. Anyone want to say anything? Any thoughts? No? Everyone's all good?
Good use for the existing facility. I think they've done a good job of presenting the reason for the conditional use. I'm in agreement.
It's a much-needed service,
Okay.
much needed.
Great presentation, so I mean, hard to come up with a question.
Okay. Yeah, they did a good job. We talking through all the conditions in 13.16 and kind of how they meet all those, and getting that a little bit of the facility up to speed where they need to if they're going to use the garage. So no, it was well done. So the question then is on approval of conditional use permit number 2019-13. Of a yes vote is for the approval of the.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. The ayes have it. Your conditional use permit has been approved. Congratulations. Thank you. And good luck.
Good luck.
Okay, next on the agenda is the approval of minutes. There's 3 of us here, so I think we can do the minutes.
Do we have a May meeting? Did we have a May? We didn't have a May meeting. Yeah, April.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
for the approval of the minutes from April 10th.
Right.
Skip, you were there. Blair, you were there.
Yep.
And of course, I was there too. So, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second it?
Is there any deletions or revisions?
I don't know.
No, good. Of a yes vote approves the minutes, of no vote denies them. All in favor of approving the minutes as written, say yes.
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 Yes, the minutes have been approved as written. Okay, our next meeting will be on July 10th, 2019. Hopefully Mr. Viviani will be back for that meeting. If not, the saga will continue. But the Concord Township Board of Zoning Appeals meeting for June is now closed. Thank you.